I had a lot of stuffed animals when I was little, and just about like any other kid, there were a select few that I had a connection with. And these puppets were not those stuffed animals, except for Froggy. This is Froggy, and he was my favorite. So when my Chinese teacher in 5th grade was the best teacher in the world, I decided I would bring Froggy to school every day because she wouldn't mind, would she? And she didn't. She even bought a stuffed animal of her own. But because I brought this frog to school every day, I formed a special connection with him, and one day he whispered in my ear, "I want to start an educational show." And I was like, okay. But then I started thinking, how was I going to do that? Starting Froggy and Me was not easy. For weeks, I was coming up with ideas for the show, but I was 10 years old and had no knowledge of how to edit videos. And although I had a Kindle Fire that I could film on, that little device couldn't film more than 5 minutes before I got tired and fell asleep. I also had this idea in my head of a brick wall background, but although our house is made out of bricks, I didn't want to film outside, especially in the winter. So I grabbed my mom's iPad, brought Froggy and another puppet I had downstairs to my room, and began filming the first episode of Froggy and Me. And when I showed my little brother the video I had made, he loved it and wanted more. Eventually, it got to a point when I was making a Froggy and Me every single day. And this wasn't just a small thing I could film when I got home from school. I had to come up with a topic I could teach, come up with how I would teach it, as well as a premise for the episode, and write out the Froggy word of the day. I just went into professional mode. Anyway, which was a segment that I had in every single Froggy and Me, which I would define a term that was very important to the topic I was teaching. I knew I couldn't keep this up every single day, so I decided that I would create a season finale that would mark the end of daily videos. Don't worry, I'm not ending daily videos on this channel any day soon, but the premise of the finale was celebrating one of the Froggy and Me characters, Squishy Egg, finding her parents. I turned on the radio and turned on a disco light in my room and basically filmed the Froggy and Me characters dancing for 20 minutes. I specifically remember Sweet But Psycho coming on the radio and Squishy Egg having a dance solo. And my little brother watched the full unedited 20 minutes, which was probably pretty painful, honestly. Okay, so through this whole video, I have been throwing characters in left and right, but you don't know the Froggy and Me characters. So let me give you a quick rundown, accompanied by some visuals I made for each character when I was bored in 2020. BJ, the musical sheep, the very first Froggy and Me character and has a band called Electrified. Dash, a bunny that loves exercising and talks really fast like this. Pam, honestly, she's just angry all the time. That's all. Spot, he doesn't like other stuffed animals and wants them all to leave him alone. He's sarcastic and very introverted. Froggy, the main character. He's in every single episode and loves teaching the other stuffed animals. He's very calm and is a total nerd. Squishy Egg. Okay, so Squishy Egg was not intended to be a Froggy and Me character, but when it was announced that Pam had adopted Squishy Egg just kind of started showing up in Froggy and Me episodes until I just gave up and made Squishy Egg a Froggy and Me character. She's a little crazy. Glitter. Glitter initially was some sort of magical butterfly, but she somehow transitioned into being a Minecraft YouTuber. Yeah, also I learned recently that I always controlled her upside down. Destiny, an artsy cow that is very proud of being a cow. Junior, based off of my little brother who was the target for these episodes. Toto, literally just Toto from The Wizard of Oz. So I got really bored during 2020 and made most of the Froggy and Me characters a YouTube channel. Not actually, because I still didn't know how to edit videos, but Pam, for example, had a channel called Living with a Squishy Egg, which basically featured Pam creating weapons to use against Squishy Egg in an attempt to hurt the child she adopted. Yeah, that's dark. But don't worry, it never hurt Squishy Egg, because Squishy Egg is actually a breed of stuffed animal, half pig, half whale, and Squishy Egg has whale skin, so it's okay. It was tough skin, and she didn't get hurt. Dash had several YouTube channels based off of a trainer I knew from Beachbody on Demand. Sorry, Body. I still think that's the worst rebrand name ever. Sean T. So Sean T had a workout program called Max 30, so Dash, of course, had a workout program called Dash 30. Transform 20 was Dash Form 20, T25 was D25, you get the idea, lots of bad puns. Destiny had a YouTube channel called Destined to be an Artist, where I ripped off of Art for Kids Hub, but the main ripoff and the channel I put the most amount of effort into was Glitter's YouTube channel, which I based off of this guy. Glitter's channel was called GY Stream, yes, another bad pun, and she would do lots of Minecraft pranks and stuff, because I really liked this guy's Minecraft pranks in 2020. I was 12 years old, don't judge me. Okay, so I'm making this video because Froggy and Me has actually made somewhat of a comeback in the last couple of months. I already put this into a previous video, video, but I made the first Froggy and Me in 5 years a couple months ago for a physics midterm, and I recently made 2 more Froggy and Me's in an attempt to get scholarships. I'll put an update on the screen if I won any of those scholarships. I don't think I will. But this week I actually made the Reddit prank video instead of a regular animation because I was making Froggy and Me's this week. One was about light, and the other one was about waste and litter. I'll put links in the description if you want to watch them. But Froggy and Me has obviously evolved from the old show I would film and delete after my brother watched it because I didn't want to take up storage space on my mom's iPad. I actually thought I had deleted all of the Froggy and Me's, but about a year ago, me and my brothers found the last Froggy and Me on my little brother's old Kindle Fire. So here's some clips from that.
Grab